BC News International Talk Show is designed to help African people to value their continent. The narrative of the continent of Africa have been wrongly told. We want to bring a new generation of motivated Africans who will sell the continent in a positive way. Join our channel and learn more about our continent and learn more about our history. Our topics are unique social dialogue and culture, in center of our discussion immigration and humanitarian issue that affect families discovering of Africa. Continent, Africa is the best for businessmen. This is how we see our new Africa. We promoting agriculture, ecology, and paysans agriculture. Education of our new generation remains one of our goal. Anti-corruption and justice are also our spirit. Let us help and protect women by supporting them with projects that empower them. Join us. Do you know what Africa needs? We need political stability. We strong education. And we have to tell our sons that Africa rich, Africa is good place to be, and Africa is the future on the world. Africa don't need corruption. Africa need a strong justice and free movement. This what will united Africa from the Nord, frond the South, from the East and from West. We are the color of Africa continent. Join our discussion only in BC News International. Email us at contact@bcnews-international.net or call us on 002-2527-2433-4940. You can WhatsApp us on 002-2007-7000-887-6462.
Hi there. Thank you so much for watching this talk show again. I'm so happy to bring someone special. She's a special for me, and I hope that she'll be special for you as well.
Thank you so much, Eric. It's so wonderful to speak with you, and thank you for inviting me into this forum. My name is Shari Lineberger, and I am an entrepreneur. I'm a visionary, and I work best in trailblazing and pioneering in new developments and in different capacities. I've worked for Fortune 500 companies, Marriott International in their international lodging development arena, and have also worked in real estate, in working in franchising and building companies and pioneering territories with Keller Williams. I am based currently in Baltimore and have operations in Panama and in Cabo Verde, Africa, and working in Senegal as well, and also in Egypt. And we are adding countries into areas that we're working and building really incredible organizations. So stay tuned.
Great. So Sharon, nice to have you on this show. So tell us a little bit about your experience, how you can bring something special for our viewer, those who are watching this program.
So I think one of the things and one of the areas that I'm passionate about, and I always start talking about my personal mission statement. My personal mission in life is inspiring people to live their biggest life possible. And then I go and help build the runways and the opportunities for people to achieve those big lives. So I have failed more than I have succeeded. I have failed my way to success. And I think one of the experiences that I bring to people and is that I am so open and vulnerable about the process. And I have failed more, as I said, than I have succeeded. And I'm so open about those failures because they have all been learning processes for me.
Great. So, Sharon, they always say a good businessman, a succeed person always fail. When you don't fail in a business, when you don't make mistakes, you cannot achieve. So tell us a little bit about some people are afraid to go to business because they fail, and then they fail. What you have to say?
So I think it's one of the things. So first of all, you have to embrace the theory that success is sequential. not simultaneous, meaning that success happens in very small increments along the way. And within all of that, there's so many failures and lessons. So I think if you look at failure, and really so many people take failure personally. And this is kind of where I step into a little bit of a different space and say, we all have things that hold us back internally. And our work and our journey is uncovering those things that are holding us back and creating a ceiling for us. A lot of times those are rooted in trauma, they're rooted in massive disappointment and loss, lots of different reasons. But the important piece is actually going and doing the internal work to do that, because you're going to need that, and understanding that failure isn't personal. Failure usually means you're missing a who, a person in your life, you're missing a what, you're missing a system, or maybe your vision and your dream isn't really your vision and your dream that's in your heart, because it takes heart and persistence and perseverance when you've hit that fourth or fifth failure in a row. So many great books that talk about people that quit right before success. So you literally, when it is your passion and your dream for something, and you're driven by your own personal mission in life, to be able to find those things, then you never run out of energy, because you know in your heart and in your faith that you're going to get there. It's just not going to look like the line and that linear that you thought it was going to be. It often looks like a maze of how you actually got somewhere.
Okay, great. So, Sharon, what makes someone succeed after failing several times?
I think it's actually coming in and having a great group of mentors around you. We all need to have mentors and coaches in our lives in four key areas. That is financial area, your business area, your spiritual area, and your physical area. So when you have people that are pouring into you, and you've had so many people that have are surrounding you and helping you, but also holding you accountable. And accountability starts with people holding you to your dreams and helping you. Say you want to achieve this. Well, you have to develop the work ethic, and you have to develop and bring the people in and around you to help support you along that way. And as I mentioned earlier, it all starts with your dream. And so success, and after like being able and having so many failures, I have always gone to my coaches, I've gone to my colleagues, and I stopped worrying about what I looked like in the whole process of failure. You have to step out of ego, and needing to be right or looking good, and actually getting into vulnerability, because it isn't personal again. And so many people internalize it as they're not worthy, or it's shameful to fail. And some of our greatest people in the world and our greatest inventions have come from people that kept going and going and going and going. So that's what you have to do. But it's all
Great. So, Sherry, this program is mostly dedicated to African continent. The idea is to how to help African continent, how to help African people to develop their mindset in business and how to develop the continent. So, Sharon, tell me a little bit about your experience. What do you think that African should develop so that the continent move forward?
I believe it all starts with leadership. and developing your leadership skills individually and as a whole. Because I think when you teach, so that comes back again to like education and training and coaching. And first of all, Africa is one of the, like, our entire world's greatest opportunity, filled with bright minds and incredible people and incredible opportunities. And I feel like the one of the greatest things is that so many people have already failed before, in looking at leadership and development of, opportunities. And so now Africa has the opportunity to go see how others have succeeded before them and just follow the playbook of success in building businesses and developing the leadership skills in the right way. And the challenge becomes working through, a lot of traditional mindsets. So everything begins, in helping people develop 6 primary personal perspectives in their life and business. And it all starts with mindset. And really working through a lot of the challenges that you're going to, work through and come up with. So, as Africa is working and developing, teaching leadership and healthy leadership, blue ocean style companies rather than red ocean, where yes, it's great to be competitive. However, we have to create environments where, people's, abilities are celebrated and people are not held back, because you may have a particular manager that feels like it's a failure if they hire people that are going to be more successful than they are. And in fact, that's what every leader should do, is work to build, people around them that are going to do much better than them in those particular roles, and then continue to create and promote people so that they see that there is upward mobility within their companies and organizations.
Great. So let us talk about the company and the management system. We know that the success of employee, it depends also on good management, good leadership inside of the company. So what we notice, some company has a serious problem when you have, let's say, I can say, a headache management system where there is always a conflict between management and the employee. What we can say about that for you? Who is the good manager that can promote employee?
Again, I believe it starts with, leaders, number one, who've been empowered, to make great decisions. I also think it begins with that individual leader's journey and self-development. How much of a how much time and energy and resources is a company putting into the development of those leaders? We are all human beings coming from all different kinds of environments with all different kinds of self-doubt, um, different things that we go through as leaders. And John Maxwell, one of the famous authors on leadership, says, leaders are neither created nor born a leader. No one is born a leader. It is a skill that you develop over time. And you need not only to develop yourself, but have your company pouring into your leadership development. And I think, it starts there. The second thing I think is having a system of hiring people, in your workforce, where you are matching their skills, their hopes and their dreams and their goals with that particular role and position. Because so oftentimes, it's a very different process. Rather than finding the alignment between, those two things, we often have times that people are mismatched into a role in an opportunity, but they need a job. And so I think when we do a better job of creating environments where you have people that are very passionate about that role and position because they know what they want, and then you have leaders who want to uplift rather than hold down. And then you also create an environment where it's okay to fail and fail forward as a team and actually be able to look at those failures without judgment or shame and actually pick apart, well, why did this happen? Okay, well, what do we need to do to fix this in the future? When you can create those environments, then everybody rises together and you have happy people who are loyal and who want to continue on with the mission of the company.
Great. So, what advice you have to tell to those employees who have a very bad system of management, where the manager always puts employee in trouble? It's a kind of embarrassment, a kind of a toxic place. How they should the attitude should be so that they keep their moral up and should be productive.
They need to hire a consultant. They need to get out of their own way, and they need a consultant to come in and analyze their systems, analyze their leadership, make sure they have the right people in the right places, and also get a coach within that so that they can begin coaching themselves on the leadership. And a lot of times that is a C-suite level style of decision. And it really separates the companies that are going to outlast all of the changes and the pivots that we all have to come through in this world and in these different markets and different times. So, my suggestion when you have that type of environment, and it can happen so easily, it can be the product of one manager or one leader that's been empowered that maybe the executive level doesn't even know that's happening. So it can happen very easily. And in those situations, if you don't have the systems to be able to have hiring the right people, encouraging them, and succeeding through them, because ultimately you're teaching people how to succeed through other people. It is not easy. There are very, very few courses in those things, and you have to, work to find them and invest in them. So my suggestion is invest in your people and invest in your company by hiring consultants who can help you develop or overlay systems and models to help you get better. You can't get to better until you get to different.
Great. So, Shari, who's the good manager for you? Who's the good manager?
So for me, rarely I'm not a person that is managed well. So I'll say, who's a good leader for me? As an entrepreneur, I follow other leaders and I choose to work with other leaders. So for me, it's somebody who not only has a very clear vision, they have a mission that aligns with mine, their value system aligns with my value system, and they are going where I want to go, and they're going to continue to build so big that my hopes, dreams, and desires and the legacy that I want to live and leave on this earth, that they can encompass all of that. So for me, that's a great leader. It's a great leader for me also creates the space for life to happen. Life has happened to me. I've already shared, been through so many different things. I've been in business with some not so great people in this world. My choice, and I made those choices and decisions to get into business with those people, by the way. I have accountability on that. But one of the things is that like having that space to fail forward people talk a lot about it and leaders talk, oh, we allow this, or we celebrate this, but actually doing that is the hard. So I also want to see evidence that people have done that in their life and career with other people. So success leaves clues. I follow and look and see and talk with people. I actually interview people before I start working with someone. So I reverse engineer a little bit and say, tell me about what was your experience working with this person before I step into that role.
Great, that's fantastic advice. So, Shari, uh, in Africa, what we heard, this is what some people say in Africa, for an employee to develop his career, he have to have someone within the company that loves him, that supports what he's doing. The person should not support him only financial, but someone who love that person, who say, yes, I want to see this man to promote. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think that all comes back to alignment again, is yes, you need someone in your company who thinks that you are amazing and wants to see you succeed. And so it's finding the company and the environment that you have that alignment with those people. And you're not going to find that in every company, because some companies are not going to be for you. And it's just really taking the time to find that alignment and find the people that you connect with and that see you in that light. Because you want people to cheerlead and want to see you succeed. And if they don't want to see you succeed, then I don't know that there is any one thing that you can do to prove that you're, quote, worthy. That worthiness comes from the inside, by the way. And if somebody doesn't see that inside of you, there's no deed, there's no deal, there's no something that is going to be good enough for the person that wants to hold you down. So don't waste time. Find the people that see you, like you feel like you should be seen, and without having to quote, prove anything other than you're going to work hard and you're going to do the things that you said you're going to do and do them amazing. And those people are going to celebrate you. So go find those people.
Okay, great. So, Shari, the reference is very important for career when you want to improve in your next step of job or in the future work. You need to have people who can testify, who can say, yes, we work with that person. He is a good person. He has a good morality. He is a good working person. And how, what advice you tell those people who used to leave the company in the bad way? Let's say he leaves the company because he's angry, he's not happy. He just leave the company without telling each one, any person that this is my proposition. And what is the important for leaving their colleague and sending email like, hi there, I'm happy to work with you. This is my work is finished for today, and my next future work will be this. I hope to have you in my agenda. What's the role of those kind of message when you are leaving a company?
So I think, and I think to clarify a little bit, when hopefully, I'm a big person for communication. So allowing a situation to get to a place where you are leaving on a very bad term, I don't recommend ever getting to that place, first of all. Meaning, um, if it's not the right environment and you're constantly at loggerheads with someone in your organization and they're not a fan of you, and boy, you're not a fan of them either. Okay, it happens. At that point in time, I think it comes to, even if it's a management situation and you're at your review, let's say, and it's clear this is not a great review, there's probably nothing that you can say that's going to change that person's mind. So you have a choice and a decision. At that point in time, you can try to make someone the bad guy. I don't recommend that. I recommend talking about alignment and just saying it's very clear that we're not in alignment. You're not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. I feel like it's time that we both move on from this. And when I go and I interview and I talk about my experience here, because this is my most recent, here's what I'm going to say about you. And what I'd like to know is, in turn, can we agree on what we can talk about? And can we agree, like, this hasn't all been bad, and I'm going to say this hasn't all been bad from my perspective either. It's just we're not in alignment. And I keep coming back to that word, because then it's just, you're not making someone wrong. Because the moment that you make someone wrong, they get defensive, right? So you want to just work to create that environment. Now, let's say you haven't done that yet. And it's as we say in English, it's a dumpster fire. It's bad. And you need to just you need to go. And it's no talking to people. It's just done. So best advice that I have is be honest about this experience as you're talking to other people, and go back to your 4 people that you've brought into your life that's coaching you in financials, spiritual, business, and your physical health, and say, this, I have to be honest with you. We had so much misalignment that I don't know exactly what they're going to tell you. Here's what I can tell you about my experience. You can have their name and number, and I'm going to offer you 4 references of people that have worked with me for the last 5 years in these 4 core areas of my life. And they're going to tell you what kind of person I am.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Okay, so Shari, I know that you are more interesting about Africa. Africa is a land of opportunity. Africa is a fresh place for business. So why do you think that Africa is a fresh place and it's exactly where to bring a business?
Oh my goodness, this could take up a whole half hour. However, I will condense it into my 3 cornerstones in everything is timing, opportunity, and talent. And a statistic that I heard is, I believe about 75% of the population in Africa is 25 years and younger. That's incredible opportunity, because you have an opportunity to help people. And this is where I come back to, no matter where you are in the world, people have dreams. No matter where you are, people have dreams of family. They have dreams of home. They have dreams of experiencing things that maybe they've never experienced before. Some people, and everybody has all different kinds of dreams, but yet we're all humans. At the end of the day, we're all humans. So when you have an opportunity to help that young of a population begin to pursue and answer their dreams, number one, and create fresh. Because unlike other countries, you're building upon centuries and centuries of infrastructure. Okay, here, our infrastructure, you have to undo a lot of things. And you have such an opportunity within Africa because of, it's the right time right now. There's so much opportunity in development, in connectivity and technology, and actually working to bring really great things to even some of the most, rural and remote areas. And I think in those areas, you find people who have been given a gift to give to this world. And it's our duty to help find those people and lift them up, because the answers to help all of us and the inventions to help all of us are in all of the hearts of the people. And so I think the more that we can do that, and that's where the true opportunity of Africa lies, is
Trade. That means Africa need the man as a do.
yes, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
it.
What does it mean, that expression, man has a do?
Well, so what does that mean to you? Let me ask you.
It's a new expression. I heard that expression for the first time. I had an interview with you, and I get information about that word. So, can you tell us what do you mean by the man has do?
Yes, I think it's really focusing on the like the can do people, and working to find the people that not only have the dream and the vision, but they actually execute and they do the hard things, and you become like the can do person. And we've talked about that with one of our mutual friends and entrepreneurs in Africa, and that is his moniker as the can do person. And so I think when you have the abilities to do that and the skills to execute, and surrounding yourself with people who are on the same mission, and you're able to achieve and make, again, success is not overnight. There's no such thing as an overnight success. You have to do the work, and it's hard work. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of hard work, but the result is that when it's in your heart, that you don't run out. Encourage, yes, and you live wholeheartedly within that mission and vision. When you are driven by that, you do not run out of gas in your tank. You can do this every day until you keep getting closer and closer.
Okay, so Sherry, you've been in Africa several times. What do you think that Africa needs to really develop, to fly?
So there's a couple of things. I think I'm going to start on a very practical level. Practical levels are sustainable energy sources and working in digital and technological connectivity. Because when we think about building opportunity in economies, and commerce, we think about the last mile technologies of even someone that wants to start a business and delivering a product. Well, how do you get there if you don't have a nearby post office, or you don't have a postal system to be able to actually deliver the product to the world, and for the world to deliver the product to you? So you begin thinking about infrastructure, and smart and sustainable infrastructure. So that's one part. That's the practical part. The the belief part is Africa needs to be filled with people who are inspired to believe and to have faith that this can happen, and to achieve their dreams, and to find those leaders who want to lift people up. And I think that's where it needs those leaders who are passionate. And I think those leaders are somewhere among the 25 and under. These are our people. This is our hope of actually the world over, is our 25 and under population. And nurturing those people and their dreams and their sense of what what would I do, or what could I do if I couldn't fail? Like if failure just wasn't even out there, if I wasn't even afraid of that, what could I do? What could I create? What could I invent? Or who could I inspire or lead? How could I lead a country? So I think it's, what do? We help create the infrastructure, with, partnerships and, helping and doing what needs to be done in order to make way for all of that to happen. And the second thing is encouraging and nurturing and leadership training, business training, and, development of, people achieving, their dreams and desires. And within all of that, success follows.
Okay. So, Sharon, we are almost finished with our show. Tell me and tell our viewer how easy and what are the advice you can tell to our viewer how we can find a good mentor. I know to find a mentor is one of the crucial research. What are the steps that can help someone to say, yes, this is a good mentor I found?
So first, I'm going to say, not a surprise, the work begins internally with you first. First, you need to find out, number one, what is your dream and your personal mission in life? I will highly recommend reading a great book by John Maxwell called Intentional Living. I don't leave home without it. Here it is. You can see I have it right beside me. Intentional Living, to like help guide you through the steps of finding out what your mission is. And then you need to figure out what are your personal core values. Okay, so that's the first thing. And when you find your mission, then it's time to begin looking for those 4 different mentors in those different areas of your life. You need someone to be your health coach. You need someone to be a spiritual coach. You need someone to be a financial coach for you. And then you need someone to be your business coach and and when I say coach, I mean also mentoring you in those arenas. So then you go and you look and you find, okay, well, who aligns? I'm listening. I'm looking to hear what aligns with my mission and what aligns and who aligns with my core values that I have internally. And then you drop an email, you send a request on LinkedIn, you look around you in your community and see who's doing really great in that area, who's the best fitness person that talks about nutrition, that talks about, how to take care of ourselves. All right, go ask that person. You can't be afraid to ask that person to help mentor. And then develop mutual expectations. What does that mentorship look like? Does that look like us catching up once a month, and just kind of, or do I actually need to hire someone? I've hired a business coach for the last 16 years. We are on a call once a week for 30 minutes, and I pay that person every month to be my coach in business and entrepreneurship. Then I have mentors, Gary Keller and Mo Anderson and Keller Williams, and, working in people that I touch base with from time to time. So don't be afraid. So first of all, start with you and find out your mission in life, what makes you sing and dance, and then find your core values, and then go search for your people in those areas. And then don't be afraid to ask someone to mentor.
Mm-hmm. Great. My last question, what impact will be from those African people who study abroad? How they can impact African continent with what they have learned from overseas?
Oh my goodness. There's so many ways. Actually, I was just actually watching a news story about a young man from Rwanda who went for engineering and then came back and created an entire zip line or a drone service that is impacting the delivery of medical supplies all over. And so it's about when people come and learn, and they have a passion. Some people are going to choose to impact the countries where they're learning in. They want to create and build a different life. That's amazing. Some people go and learn so that they can come back and impact their country. And again, depending upon what their passion and what they want to do with their life, it's finding a program here, either in the US or Europe or another country in Africa or wherever in the world that you can learn mostly how to think and how to think differently, because this is what you go a lot of times to different institutions to learn how to think and to open your mind, and then look and find where the need is. There's so many different needs, and finding that hole that's missing and using your creativity to plug that hole and then figure out how to build a business around it.
Sharon, what will be your last words to our viewer?
Oh my goodness. Last words are, have persistence. Don't give up, and have faith. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and find what makes you sing and dance, and do that every day. And you'll work hard, but it doesn't feel like work when you're doing what your joy and your passion is. And that's how you build a legacy and create impact in this world, is find what you were meant to do here and don't give up doing it. And if it's meant to be playing music, go do that and put your heart and your soul into it. If it's being a journalist and reporter and, a kind of asking questions to the world, do that. And, do that with all the passion that you have. So find what that is and just keep doing it. And even when you want to give up, don't give up. Just keep going. Just one more day. Just one more day. Just one more day.
Shari, thank you so much for your time. We hope to see you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Eric.
BC News International Talk Show is designed to help African people to value their continent. The narrative of the continent of Africa have been wrongly told. We want to bring a new generation of motivated Africans who will sell the continent in a positive way. Join our channel and learn more about our continent and learn more about our history. Our topics are unique social dialogue and culture, in center of our discussion immigration and humanitarian issue that affect families discovering of Africa. Continent, Africa is the best for businessmen. This is how we see our new Africa. We promoting agriculture, ecology, and paysans agriculture. Education of our new generation remains one of our goal. Anti-corruption and justice are also our spirit. Let us help and protect women by supporting them with projects that empower them. Join us. Do you know what Africa needs? We need political stability. We strong education. And we have to tell our sons that Africa rich, Africa is good place to be, and Africa is the future on the world. Africa don't need corruption. Africa need a strong justice and free movement. This what will united Africa from the Nord, frond the South, from the East and from West. We are the color of Africa continent. Join our discussion only in BC News International. Email us at contact@bcnews-international.net or call us on 002-2527 24 33 49 40. You can WhatsApp us on 002-2507 7887 6462.